Sir.
Okay, we are going to do 2019 paper 2. Paper 2. Hello, Hariharan.
Hi, sir.
Hi. So we have we hadn't finished 2019 paper. I just noticed that we had done only up to the second question. I just shared the files you download. Let's start with question number 3, because when we did 2020 paper, there was no file handling question. But you can see here, the third question is a text file handling question and 6 marks. Okay, can you quickly download the files and get ready? We'll start the third question. Tell me when you're ready.
Okay, sir.
So we should do only 3A.
No, let's do it together, right? Just open the question. Open the question and the file.
Opened it, sir.
Shall we start? Okay, right. We'll start. Different algorithms can be used to manipulate data. Email.txt contains a list of email addresses. Okay. Just check whether that file is there. Okay, here we go. It's a text file, right? Okay. Write a program to implement these requirements. The code must check each email address to ensure whether that symbol is there. So some of the emails may not have that symbol. Write email addresses that do not contain that symbol to an error.txt file. Okay. So we had to open email.txt, access each and every email address, check whether @ sign is there. If @ sign is not there, we have to write it to another file called error.txt. Okay, a little bit tricky, yeah? And here, if you don't know the basics of file handling, that is how to open a file, how to write content to a file, how to read the file, how to append something to the file, then you won't be able to, complete this task, and you lose 6 marks. Okay, so let's do it step by step, right? That's 3A. So open 3A. As soon as you open, let's save it as. Now you can see that they haven't given any help, just the comments. File, save as, and let's save it as a finished file. 3A finished. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Right. Now let's follow the guidelines. It says open the file and input data. Open the file and input data. Okay. So when you're opening a file, you can open a file. Now, first the file has to be opened, right? What are the stages? You open the file, then you do something with the file, and then you close the file. when you work on any file, whether it's a Word file, Excel file, what do? You first open the file, then you do something, you manipulate the file, then ultimately you have to close the file. These are the 3 stages now. So here, let's open the file. What is the file we had opened?
Email.txt.
Email.txt, yes. So when you're opening a file, you use open, right? Open function, right? Keeps on coming now. Right. And then you have to give the file name. File name is email.txt. So I'm going to copy it from here without typing. But it's not case sensitive. File name is not case sensitive. That's fine. And then you should have comma. And then you should have something very important. That is the file permission. Okay. If you are opening it for reading, I mean, you have learned in this syllabus, you have learned 3 permissions. One is for reading. The other is for writing, right? These are things that you do with the file manipulation. You might read the content. You might write new content, completely new content, replacing the existing content, or you might add new content to the existing content. Okay, can you tell me, if you are reading, what should be the handle here for file permission? If you are reading the file, this should be, right? This is the file name and this is the handle to represent the file permission. If you are reading, this should be R. If you are writing, this should be W. If you are adding new content to the existing content, that is called append. If you are appending, this should be A. So just know those 3. R for read, W for write, and A for append. The difference between write and append is that write will completely replace the existing content and write new as new content. Append will not delete any existing content, it will add new content to the existing file. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so here it should be R. Okay, now the thing is this, you open the file and you read the content, you open it for reading, but you need to have a variable to handle the content of the file. So on the left side, we should have a file handle. File handle is simply a variable that will be used to refer to this text file. Because when you are inside the code, you can't be referring to the file name again and again. So you need a file handle to represent that. So I'm going to have here, let's call it emails or something, and equal. Okay, now this file will be opened for reading and it will be put into a file handle called emails. Okay. And hereafter, we are going to use this, right, to represent this. Instead of this text file, we are going to use this handle. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now open the file. We have put it into a handle. Now the thing is, how do we read the content? To read the content, we have something like this. We have 2 functions. One is read function. The other one is read line function. Okay, let's try one of those and see whether we can read and print at least the first line or maybe the whole content, right? So I'm going to have another variable This is called, I'm going to use, let's say content or something equals, right. Now I told you hereafter you have to use the file handle, this one. Right, so I'm going to use emails dot read. Okay, this is supposed to read the content of the file. Right, first you put the file name and the permission into a handle, and after that we are going to use the handle. Right now here we are using the handle, file handle, with a function called read. So this is supposed to read the whole content, okay, and put it into a variable called content. Now I can test it by printing the content. Print content. Let's see what it will print. Okay, there you go. I get all the email addresses. That means this part is successful. I could open the file, I could read the content, and I could print. Fine. So like 25% of the answer is done. Okay, you also try. Okay, guys, finish.
Yeah, sir.
Right, nice. Vishnu, what about your output? Vishnu, hurry up. Okay, great. So the next step. Next step is let's try read. Now the thing is, now this can't be used for our answer, right? Because this read the whole content. What I want to do is I want to read line by line. Then only I can check whether at sign is there. Okay, so this is not going to work. I just wanted to check whether I can open the file, read the content, and output. So let's use read line function. And now let's see what it will print. Okay, now you see it reads line by line, but it read only the first line. Okay, which means if I want to read each and every line, I need a loop. Okay, so now I'm going to test a loop. I have already read the first line, so I'm going to try this method. I haven't tried this. I mean, I have tried this before, but a long time back. So let me test this out, right? There can be different methods. So I'm going to put a while loop. First watch that, don't do it. While means as long as, right? Always keep in mind, while is as long as. So I have already read the first line and put it into a variable called content, right? This time I'm going to change the variable name because it's a little bit misleading. I'm going to call it email line. email line, right? So as long as email line is not blank, right? Because you can see, like when we are reading the email lines, we read the first line, it's there. We go to the next line, it's there. And ultimately, when you go to the end, it's going to find a line which does not have any content. So I'm going to put like this, as long as, while means as long as email line is not equal to blank, right? So finding a blank line means we have come to the end of the text. So as long as email line is not equal to blank, I'm going to print the email line, which means each email address, email line. Okay, but inside the while loop, now I have already read the first line outside the while loop. But inside the while loop, if you want to continue the while loop, you need to call the read line function again, right? Just like the while loop needs an increment, you need the read line here inside the while loop. Otherwise, it can't continue, right? It starts with the first line, then it should go to the second line and read. So I need to repeat this inside the while loop after printing the first line. Okay, so this will keep the while loop going. Okay, let's see whether this would work. Content. Okay, yeah, I'm printing content here. I don't need this line. Okay, there you go. It printed all the email addresses. Okay. So you can see that there is a blank line that is coming from this print statement, because you know the print command has a default line break. So after
So,
printing
sir,
this,
now what we did was just did not give a spacing to this the sentences.
no. What I just did was I accessed each line separately and printed. Earlier, what we did was we read the whole content and printed as one whole content, right? That cannot be used for this particular question, because here we need to access individual email addresses and check whether that sign is there, right? See how I develop this step by step, right? So I change the read function to read line, and this will read each line and put it into a variable called email line. I changed the name of the variable to make it more sensible. And then I tested that. I just printed email line. So then I found out, okay, I could access the first email address and print it. Okay, that gave me an idea. Okay, how about putting a loop? If I put a loop and continue, I'll be able to read each line after line. But there should be a condition, right? There should be a condition on where to stop. So what I did was, as long as email line is not blank, right? So if it is not blank, it will read the line and output. Then it will read the next line, put it into the variable, go and check whether that line is blank. If not, it will print the email address. So it went on one by one, it went on. And at the end, right? At the end, after the last email address, it will find a blank line, right? It will read that line, put it into email, and go and check to see that it's blank. When it is blank, it will exit the while loop. That's what happened. Is that clear?
Yeah, sir.
Ariel?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah. Now you can see that there is a blank line getting printed. That's because of this print command. Print command has this line break, default line break. So I showed you that day also. If you put a comma here and use end equals double quotes, that will remove the default line break of the print command. Right, now let's see whether it will remove it. All right, there you go. Right, now the output looks the same, but the difference is this time we have printed each email address by accessing line by line. We have been able to access individual email addresses separately. That's exactly what we need in this question. Okay, can you do it up to that point? It's very important that you understand the technique, right? And the other thing I wanted to tell you was, you can't develop the program straight away. You can't develop the final answer straight away. You have to do it step by step. You have to do a lot of trial and error test. Now we are like 50% done. Okay, go ahead. Vishnu, hurry up. Okay, great, excellent. Okay, now the next step. Can you tell me what the next step is?
Check if there's a
That's right. Okay, next step is check whether there's an at sign. So what I'm thinking of right now is, if I can print the email addresses that do not have that sign, then I'm almost done, because I need to write all the email addresses that do not have at sign into an error file. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check whether the @ sign is there or not, right? So this is where I access it. This is where I access the first email line. So as soon as I do that, I'm not going to print, but I'm going to check whether the @ sign is there. If not at in email line. Okay, let me test this first. Right? I'm also not sure. Let me test it. So I'm trying this one. Right now, if I don't put not, what does it mean? If at in email line, that means if @ sign is there in the email address. So if you want to check a particular text inside another text, all you got to do is just put it like this. If whatever the text in email line or the other text, this is the text that you are searching for. This is the text that you are searching in, right? So if at in email line, that will do the work. Otherwise, it's going to be really difficult, right, to check whether there's an @ sign inside this. Okay, so I'm going to put not. Why? Because not is the opposite. If you don't put not, I'm checking for @ sign. If you put not, I am looking for email addresses that do not have not @ sign. Okay, so if the @ sign is not there, it'll print here, and then it'll access the next email line and do the same. Okay, let's see whether it works, right? Okay, there you go. It works. Can you see? None of these email addresses have an @ sign. Fine. So now it's like 75% done. Okay, try that.
Sir,
Yeah, Vishnu.
sir, when you press tab, it should get indented, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't. The whole thing got deleted.
Oh, that's because you are using this thing, Python idle. You're using Python idle, right? Not Tony, right?
Oh, sir, Tony.
Tony, it works now. See? Did you highlight the whole thing? like this.
No, I didn't highlight it.
No, even if you highlight the whole thing, tab works like this. See? Tab and shift tab. Okay, it will maintain the indentation and nicely move the whole thing, right? And if you're moving line by line, that also works. See? Are you sure it doesn't work? Did you change anything in Tony? Any settings?
So I didn't highlight.
No, you don't need to highlight. Like if you're moving a single line, just take the cursor there and tab.
Yeah, I did that, but for me it didn't come like that.
You didn't change anything, no? Any options?
No, no.
Hariharan, how about you?
So,
Finish? Tested?
yeah.
Indent with tab characters, not recommended for Python. What is that?
So now it works.
Great. Right, now 75% done. Next is, what is the next step? Now we have found out, no? We have found out the email addresses that do not have that sign. What do you think we should do next?
We should make that equals error.
Equals error?
The
No,
ones
I mean,
without at.
what should we do now? Now we opened a file, we checked each email address, and then we have found out all the erroneous email addresses. According to the question, what should we do next?
We should create a file
Yeah,
named as error text, and we should put that in error text.
that's right. So we don't have the file, right? They haven't created the file. They haven't given the file. Can you see it's not there? That means we had to create the file, and then we had to open the file, and we had to write all the erroneous email addresses, and then we had to close the file. Okay. So now we can see that find errors and write to the output file, which we have actually done here. So this whole thing should come right here, right? So make sure in the exam you put them into the correct location, right? Otherwise it will be confusing for the examiner, right? So I put it here because that's where we check the errors. Okay, the next thing is to open this output file. And it said output file should be error.txt, right? So what I do is I open first watch error.txt, right? Even if you are opening it for writing, you have to open, right? Whether you read, whether you write, whether you append, you have to open. So open doesn't change. Open error.txt. Only thing that changes is the handle, the file handle. This should be what? What should this be? Is it W or A? Is it writing or appending?
Right?
It's writing, right? Okay, Ariaran? It's writing, right? Because it's a new file. It's not an existing file. So it has to be right. It's actually W. Simple, all simple because capital letters have a different right. So make sure that you use simple. Okay. And here also I need a file handle. I can't just open it like this. I need a file handle. So I'm going to call this error. You can put your own name, but make it sensible. I'm going to put it as error email, error emails. Right. So this file is open. Now the thing is, you know that to open it's not there. Right. So remember, when you run the program, if the file is not there, and if you have given the right handle, it will automatically create the file. You don't have to worry about that. Right? If the file is not there, it will automatically create that file. Okay, so this file will be created and open for writing. Okay, we have to write it only if it is erroneous. Right, hold on, watch. Now we have already printed all the erroneous. Right, now this is where we find the error file, right? This is where we find the error file. I mean, erroneous email address. So now instead of printing, what you had to do is we had to just write it to this new file. Okay, so I'm going to comment this line. That's not what we want. And instead, I'm going to write it to this file. In order to write, you need to use the file handle again, right? So remember, once you open a file, and after that onwards, you have to use the file, right? And then here I'm checking for erroneous email addresses, and all I have to do is just write them into the new file, right? So again, I need to use the file handle error emails dot. You can hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
right, fine. Error emails, then there's a function called write. Right, just like read, we have write function. Okay, inside the write function, what should I write? I should write the email line because email line contains the email address. So just write the email line. Right? And we should write only if it is not having the at sign. Okay, so looks okay.
So, sir, right now those error emails are in email line. So we print the email line in
Yeah,
the.
earlier we printed no, but now I'm writing the email line into the error.txt. Correct. We read each
Yeah, sir.
line, right? We read each line, check whether that sign is there. If that sign is not there, we write it to the new file. Okay. Now, one of the most important thing in this file handling is if you open the file, if you manipulate the file, you have to close the file, right? Now, earlier there was no problem because I had opened it for reading, but now you are opening it for writing. Definitely, if you're opening it for writing, you need to close. Otherwise, it will not reflect the changes. Right? We have seen in the exam many students uh, get confused. Right? They have their program is running fine, no problem. But when they open the file, there's nothing in there. That's because they hadn't closed the file. So let's close the two files, both files. First file is emails. Again, you have to use the file handle. Can you see, like throughout the program, we use the file handle. First, get the file open, put that into a file handle, and after that, it's just a matter of using the file handle. Okay, so this is the file handle dot close, open bracket, close bracket, because it's a function. Right, what's the next file handle? Error emails dot close. Right. Okay, so remember, closing files is very important. Okay, now let's run. Nothing is printed because I removed the printing. I commented the printing line. So I need to go and check whether the file is created first. Can you see? The file was not there earlier. Now it is created. Okay, now let's open and see whether those email addresses are written into this file. Perfect. Can you see? Done. Completely done. successfully. Got it? Understood?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah. Okay,
Yes,
your
yes.
turn. While I was explaining, Ariaran did it, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, cool, cool.
To you and then doing it at the
Eh?
same time.
Eh?
I was that like you. I was listening and doing it at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah, good, good, good. It's okay, it's okay. See, I was actually thinking when when I thought you would get that advantage of me explaining it that time. Vishnu, why is this guy in Kataragama? He has gone
I
for a
yes. So he told him he's I can't remember also. He told he's getting some
is some
Amaduls
puja.
also.
He's in a puja.
Don't know. I, I don't know. I think
Hmm. Maybe maybe maybe
someone died.
maybe maybe he's what do you call he's maybe he's dancing on fire right now.
So that thing that Thai people do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gini பார்க்கணும் தானே வேலை. They get they get spirits into their body and they dance. They dance what they they do a wild dance on the uh, the fire. Kavadi நடனம் தானே bro. So it's always better once you write the code, when you write the code, commenting like this, like what I have done here, right? Uh, uh, we are recording this session, no? Vishnu,
Yeah, sir.
when he listens to this,
Yeah, yeah.
huh? we, we
Yeah. That's what
why
I
would
was
not?
just thinking.
Yeah, write errors emails to the new file. Read the next email. Right. Okay, done. 6 marks. Okay, Vishnu, can I see you?
So I didn't type it yet, sir.
Okay, do it.
So can I go back?
Ariaran, think of the answer for the next one, B, 3B, until
Okay, sir.
Vishnu send me the screenshot.
So when I highlight and press tab, it disappears.
On B, no. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's single line. Single line. See, multiple lines, it's fine. Single line, it disappears. Single line, you keep the cursor and tap. So my advice is this: now you did it with me. You need to redo this on your own. Then only you will learn. You will get more experience.
Okay, sir.
What? So it says indentation. I don't know, sir.
Indentation error, yes. So surely you must be having. Send me a screenshot. So this is where you have to be careful. Because even a slightest indentation error can waste a lot of time. Send me a screenshot, will you? I'll try to spot the. Okay. Um, yeah, correct. No. See, now your email line equals emails dot read line is inside the if function. So only if at is not there, it'll read the next one. So it won't continue, right? So this should be indented right under if. Take it to the left, one place to the left. This should come right under if here. Try will you?
So I did that also. It didn't come.
Okay, now what's there? Now show me there. Send me another screenshot. Vishnu, can you send me the file?
Okay, sir.
Ayyo. Vishnu. Vishnu.
Yeah, sir.
This one, no. See? This line number 10. Right?
It shouldn't
It's
be
this
there, no?
line number 10. There's a space now. Eh? See the space? And it's a repetition, no? It's the same thing, no? Here, it's the same thing. Why did you repeat it? Okay. See, it shows the line number. So you can just click here and it goes to line number 2, line number 10. Okay. So try to read and understand the question number. Okay, there's a file handle called emails to refer to the file. No such file called email.txt.
Sir, for me it works, sir.
Yeah. That's because I have just opened new one from downloads folder. Yeah, that's fine. So the error was there. You saw no error? Indentation error?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Finished?
Yeah, sir.
Okay. Right. So lastly, we'll go through this one and the other question I'll give for homework, right? Okay, this one we'll answer now, and 3C I'm going to give it for homework. Ariaran, did you try this?
So I'm doing it now.
Okay, great. So this one drawback of using merge sort algorithm to sort data sets, large data sets. If you remember merge sort, it had something called divide and conquer, a method called divide and conquer, like this. This is what happens in merge sort, right? So if the list is there, it will be divided into halves, right? So the first half, second half, and then it will be divided again into half until it comes to a base level, individual values. So we go on dividing like this. That's called divide. And then what we do is the merging part. When you are merging, we merge 2 by 2. And when you're merging, what you do is you sort. And that is called conquer. So this uses a method called divide and conquer. First, they perform dividing, then they start conquering. Okay, actually one step is missing here. That is, these two should be joined together. Right? These two should be joined together to make a pair. These two should be joined together to make a pair. And then comes the last one with all the values joined. So remember, when they are merging, when they are merged, what do? We sort. Right. First we divide into individual values, and then when we merge, we sort. When we merge, we sort. Right. So the step missing here is like this. 7, 14, that's one pair, and the other pair is 3, 12, and they are in order. Understand?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
When you merge these two, what you get is the whole list, but merged. Right. So 3 comes here, 7 comes here, 12 comes there, and then 14. That's how it should be. Okay. So they're talking about a large list, right? When you apply this onto a large list, the main problem is that it will take more space because these sub lists, right? These sub lists, right? This has to be stored in memory, and then we have to divide and store this sub list in memory. This has to be stored in the memory, and then when we divide it into individual values, these have to be stored separately. So that means when you have a large list, there's going to be a lot of divisions, a lot of dividing, and that is going to take a lot of storage space, right? So the answer for this one is it will use more memory space because all sub lists will have to be stored as we split the list. Okay, so that's the problem. Otherwise, merge sort will be quicker, right? Except for this one, advantage would be merge sort will be quicker than insertion sort and bubble sort. Insertion sort we don't do in all else. We did bubble sort because in bubble sort, of course, the main problem is it has to go through the list several times. We call them passes. But in merge sort, it's not like that. We don't need to go through the list several times. Therefore, it's faster than the bubble sort. Understand? Right, we'll write an advantage also. Which is the disadvantage. Right. Another disadvantage here is even if the list is sorted, it will go through the whole process. Okay. Advantage. That means like when you, even if the, let's say you give a completely sorted list, still it will go through the merge. I mean, it will go through the conquer, sorry, merge and conquer. Sorry, divide and conquer. Right? Even if the list is sorted, it will go through the divide and conquer, the whole process. Advantage is it is quicker than bubble sort, because you learned two sorting methods, right? Bubble sort and merge sort. And then you learned two searching methods. Can you tell me the searching methods? So you learned two sorting algorithms and two searching algorithms. The two sorting algorithms are the bubble sort and the merge sort. What are the two searching algorithms you learned? Arish, tell me, Ariharan, tell me one. One sorting algorithm you have learned. Sorry, searching algorithm. Vishnu, tell another.
So binary search and linear search.
Binary search and
Linear search.
linear search. Excellent. Right. So it is quicker than the bubble sort, because it doesn't go through the whole list again and again. Right? In bubble sort, you need to go through the list again and again. Those are called passes. Right. So can you do 3B for homework? And send me the answers. Share the answers.
Okay, sir.
Send it as a private message. Wait. Let me share this answer. Okay. Let's have a quick look at this to see whether you have understood or not. So that's a 6-mark question. Write a program to display the square and cube number. Square and cube number between 1 and 50 entered by the user. So for example, if you enter 2, it has to be validated. You have to check whether it is between 1 and 50. And if it is 2, you should find the square value of 2, that is 2 into 2. And then you should find the cube value of 2, that is 2 into 2 into 2. The code must ask the user to enter number 1 and 50 inclusive. That means 1 and 50 are also included. Display the number and the square number and the cube number. Okay, you have to first display the number, that is 2, for example, then the square number of 2, then the cube number of 2 with appropriate labels. That means you should show the number you entered is 2, squared value of 2 is this, cube value of this 2 is this. Stop when a number outside the range 1 to 50 is entered. That means if you enter any value lower than 1 or higher than 50, it should stop. That means this should have a loop, and the loop should be controlled by the value that user enters. Okay, if a loop is controlled by the value that user enters, it is called, that value is called a rogue value. A rogue value, R-O-G-U-E, rogue value. So here the loop should continue as long as the number is between 1 and 50. Right? When it is out of the range, it should stop. Okay, so try it on your own and send me the answer. I will check and give you comments. Okay, let me give you a few more homework. Right? Question number 4, which is totally based on encryption. This also can be done. Okay, do question 4 also. Then we have the last 2 questions. So, we have the last question. Yeah. Yeah, last question, we'll do it in the class because it is the biggest question in the paper, 20-mark question. You do 3C and question number 4. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Me the answer. It's better if you can send me before, even if you can send it today, tonight, before midnight, it would be great, right? Without wasting time, without postponing, because we have like very short time before the mocks, right? When is your mock starting?
16th.
Yeah, that's the thing. So we have only
17th. No, 16th.
6. Yeah, and I want to give our paper to test your current standard. Right. Okay, then I'll see you in the next class, right? Third and fourth. Hold on. Yeah. Second and third. Second and third. Fourth, our school starts. So second and third, we might be able to have a physical class, and then sixth is a holiday, day. We can have another class on 6th morning. Let's see. Yeah, let's discuss. Okay, then. See you. Good night.
Bye, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Okay, welcome.